Now, here's another false argument. I've seen some people referring to the classes we have in our application domain as a persistence model. So this Vega class we have here, they say this is a persistence model. It's for Entity Framework to load data from a database. And we need a separate domain model. And I ask why? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to create another vehicle class that looks exactly like this one and just create mapping between the two? What's the value of doing that? Again, when someone makes that argument, I think their experience is limited to Entity Framework 1.0 or 2.0. Because back then, in order to define a vehicle class, we had to derive this class from a base class that was part of Entity Framework. Now, I don't remember the name of that class. Perhaps it was Entity or Entity Base. And this class internally had references to DB context. So back then, yes, we could say this vehicle class was part of a persistence model, not the actual domain model. But that was a poor design in Entity Framework. The whole point of an object relational mapper is to map relational tables to your domain objects. Now, in this application, because Entity Framework currently doesn't support many to many relationships, our domain classes map one to one to our database tables. So earlier we added this class, vehicle feature, and this maps to this vehicle features table, which is the association table between vehicles and features. However, if Entity Framework course supported many to many relationships, we wouldn't need to add this class in our domain model. And then our domain model would start to differ from our database tables. Also, in a more complex applications, you might use inheritance in your domain model. There again, your domain model will look more different from your database tables. So these classes we have here, once again, they are part of the applications domain. There is no reference to Entity Framework here. These are plain old CLR objects or POCOs, and we do not need a separate domain model that looks exactly like this. That's just so wrong and doesn't add any value. Now, earlier, we introduced these API resources and mapped them to our domain models, but we had two reasons for doing so. We wanted to prevent overposting attacks and preventing our API contract from breaking. However, there is absolutely no point in creating another set of classes and calling them domain model, separating from these classes, calling these persistence model, and mapping them back and forth. What's the point of that? So don't do it.